What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. Happy Friday to all of you. So we are going to have a look at the new Masked Gods heroes. We've got two brand new heroes in the Masked God portal. We have got I don't know how you say it, Februus. And we've also got this hero, Umbria. So they're the two new featured heroes that we've had in the Masked Gods event. And I must say, some of these Masked Gods are extremely powerful heroes. I mean, Janna, Cell's been pretty good. I mean, defensively, she's quite a beast. Obviously, you've got Jove, who's just a classic hero. Carmenta, really good usability for her as well. Fortuna, maybe slightly less so. And then obviously Aradia, she's a great hero as well. So we've got some really good heroes in this portal. So these two new ones have a lot to live up to. So let's start with the face of the new event summon, which is Februus. So Februus is a nature hero. He is of the cleric class, so he gets a chance to withstand negative status effects and mana effects and effects that prevent the use of special skills. So really good talent class for him. He is of the Masked God family. So just a quick recap, they start with a masked minion. Depending on how many heroes you have, the masked minion becomes better. So if you've just got one family member, the minion is just a meat shield, basically, with 8% health and 8% attack. If you've got two family members, then the masked minion gives additional percentage of attack. And then if you've got three family members, it gives immunity to status ailments. So the immunity to ailments is really effective, especially on defensive teams, because you can't give them any ailments until you destroy the Masked God minion. So a pretty decent family bonus, but very dependent on how many of these heroes you have on your team. Now, he gets two passives as well. So the passive there, Cleanse on Minion Death. Again, really effective, even if there's just a single minion, because if you do put an ailment on this hero, once the minion's destroyed, they cleanse the ailment when the minion dies. And if any new minions are summoned to the hero during the course of the battle, again, they get that cleanse effect, which is really effective. So a really good passive. And then there's a resistance against status ailments that affect defense, and also elemental defense. So these heroes are very survivable on defensive teams. It's hard to take them out. Initially, you've got to get rid of the minion, then you've got to give them the ailment. And obviously you've then got to cut through the hero in terms of their HP and stats as well, which are just bonkers. So yeah, really good defensive heroes, I would say, for the most part, these Masked Gods heroes. Now, if we just have a look at Februus's stats, we'll switch the max power preview off. You can see he's quite defensively built, 885 on the attack, 912 on defense, which is pretty decent, and 1876 on the health. So really survivable, this hero. At max power, we're looking at 2,600 on the health, and like 1150 and 1197 on the defense. So again, really good stats. Almost in line with the third costumes that we've seen released. We're at 952 team power at the moment, and that's just going up and up. I don't know what it's going to be come Christmas or come January next year, but these heroes are just getting redonkulous, man. I know I keep saying it, I keep banging on about it, but it's the truth. So let's have a look at Februus's special. I mean, he looks pretty cool, actually. That mask is quite reminiscent of like the Egypt family heroes that we've seen. Yeah, I do like the art on this character. He looks pretty cool. So his special is running at slow speed. Bum. We don't like that, do we? So his special's called Remedies and Diseases. And he is a fiend destroyer. So first thing he does is destroys all fiends from all allies. That can be pretty useful, because fiends are just the most annoying things in the world. And they can take, I mean, they're getting increasing in terms of the max HP that the fiends need for you to cleanse them off. So a fiend destroyer could come in useful. Now, he also cleanses status ailments from all allies, which is pretty cool. Doesn't matter whether they're attached to the Fiend or not. He's got a cleanse, and he's got Fiend destruction straight away. Now, all allies also regenerate 1,190 HP over 5 turns. And get this, the effect can't be dispelled. So that is extremely useful. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of heal over time specials, but I think in this guy's case, the fact that it can't be dispelled really does make a huge difference. Now, that doesn't change with limit breaks and emblems, just so that you're aware. So the amount of healing each turn is going to be about, pardon me, about just under 200 per turn. But that can't be dispelled. So he's destroying fiends, he's cleansing ailments, and he's healing the whole team. Then all enemies receive 815 poison damage over 5 turns. It's okay in this sort of original form. But if you do add limit breaks and emblems, that just bumps it up to 1,065 poison damage over 5 turns. So there you're going to be getting in the region of about 200 poison damage per turn. Again, you can pair him up with heroes that increase the damage ailments. But I don't think, since he's running at slow speed, that's going to be too great of an option for this guy. I do like the fact that he is dealing some damage, although it's not a huge amount of damage. So, where do I stand on this hero? I mean, if we break it down, he's quite unique in the fact that he destroys fiends and cleanses ailments and gives that healing, which is undispellable. So I do kind of like him, but I think that he would be easy to deal with. I mean, aside from the passives and everything else that's sort of going on, you can pretty easily just sort of tile dump into this guy to take him out, because he's not doing anything that's going to impact your team in a hugely negative way, aside from giving some poison damage, which you can cleanse off. And then he's going to be running at slow speed until he fires again. So he's going to be slightly more difficult to chop down. He's going to take longer to kill. But he is kind of just a massive meat shield, even though he doesn't look like one. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this hero, put it that way. But I think that maybe in the rush format, and maybe if we do see fiends becoming more prominent as part of the meta, then I could change my mind on this guy, because he's a pretty decent all-rounder, but I think he's going to be too easy to deal with, especially at the higher levels. Now let's move on to the other hero that we've got featured in this portal, which is Umbria. Now, Umbria is a dark hero. Dark heroes are like my nemesis at the moment. It was the fire heroes for a long time. Now it's the dark heroes. They just seem to be impossible to come by. So I'd love to land this hero just to have a decent new 5-star dark hero. She is of the rogue class, so she gets the chance to evade. She gets the chance to dodge direct damage from special skills. She benefits from the same family bonus, and she benefits from the same passive. Now, she does not get the defense resistance. I think that is reserved for the slow speed heroes in this portal, because Cell gets it as well. So she doesn't get the immunity to the ailments. What she does get in the form of an ether talent is the fiend resistance. So I guess that's, something. So in terms of her stats, let's just switch the max power preview off for a sec. Again, we're looking at a really good balance for Umbria. So 918 on the attack, 904 on defense, 1804 on the health. So super survivable. Again, that minion makes her that much more survivable from the start of the battle. So yeah, I do like the stats, and I do like the class, the fact that she gets the chance to dodge. That talent as well, the rogue class talent, when you are going up the talent tree with your emblems, gives you the option to increase the attack more than any other class in the game. So you can increase that attack stat quite a bit. So if we look at her with the max power preview there, you can see it's going up to 1240 on the attack. So if she does some damage, that's going to be pretty severe. 1184 on the defense, again very respectable, and 2435 on the health. So really good across the board. The art is insane. She just looks like she is creating some kind of dark force ball, with all that pent up negative energy. Don't even know what I'm talking about, but yeah, she does look super cool. So I'd like to have the card just for the art as well. She is running at fast speed, which is cool, man. Love a fast speed hero. And the special skill is called Spreading Shadow. So at fast speed, Umbria is going to deal 450% damage to the target. That's a pretty decent hit, especially considering the high attack stat. She also summons a Spreading Shadow Fiend for the target. Now the Fiend will damage the enemy with 60% attack every turn, and the Spreading Shadow Fiend absorbs healing and disappears when it absorbs health equal to 40% of its owner's max health. That's important because you're not going to be able to get rid of the Fiend with minimal healers, I would say. You know, heroes like Melina, or heroes like the costume version of Bold Tusk, or like Ptolemy. You know, they only heal in the region of about 30 to 35%. So you're going to need a sort of specialist or deep healer to be able to get rid of those fiends. And that's important because the Spreading Shadow Fiend generates a clone of itself to nearby enemies every 2 turns. Now, it says here, cloned fiends absorb the same amount of healing, deal the same amount of damage as the original fiend. The saving grace for this hero, and the reason why I don't think she's quite as impactful as she originally seems, is that the fiend only spawns a single clone of itself. It doesn't double itself onto a specific hero, and that would be absolutely horrible because a fiend with 40% is manageable as long as you take the right healer. But if it was any more than that, if it was like a 60%, or she could double up the fiends on the initial target, now that we're talking about a horrible scenario where you just have now 2 or 3 fiends to get rid of. And personally, I use a fiend summoner in Lubu next to Ludwig, and when he gets going and those fiends add up, there's no way that any healer in the game is going to be able to cleanse off 2 or 3 fiends on a single target. So, do I like this hero? Yes, I do like this hero. I think she's a good sniper. I think it's great that she's running at fast speed, and I think she'll be extremely effective in the bloody battle format, where you can't heal, because those fiends can't be removed, and the fact that they spread is just going to be super duper annoying. She can be countered, so I mean, if you have somebody with a fiend resist, or a fiend resist special, for example, then she's going to be countered right off the bat. So then she just becomes a single hit sniper for 450% damage, which kind of disables her. And the other thing about this hero is that she is relatively easily dealt with, because it's a single target hit. You just need a healer that can heal more than 40%, and doesn't matter how many heroes the fiends have spread to, you're still going to be able to counter Umbria. So while I do think she is a good hero, I don't think that either of these heroes are going to live up to what we've seen so far. Pardon me, guys. From the other heroes in the Masked Gods family. They just aren't as impactful. If we take the other featured hero, Jana, or Yana, don't know how you say it, but 470% damage to the target and 470% damage to another different enemy. She, even though she's running at average speed, she's giving the ailments, she gives the defense down, so she's a taunt killer because she gives the defense down before the second hit, and that hits the single target. So yeah, I mean, and the other heroes that we've seen in this portal as well are just, worlds ahead of Februus and of Umbria. So yeah, I don't know if this portal, for me, I don't think it's really worth summoning in at the moment, because I don't think any of these heroes are particularly meta heroes, the featured ones at least, and those are the ones that you've got a higher chance to pull. So those are my thoughts on the new heroes that we've got in this portal. Please do let me know in the comments what you guys think of Februus and also what you think of Umbria. I'd be really interested to know if you feel like I'm missing anything, or if there's anything about these heroes that or areas of the game where you think they could be particularly useful. Like I said, for Umbria, I think Bloody Battle, and then pardon me, for Februus, outside of Rush War, I don't think he's going to be that impactful. So yeah, that is it for today, guys. Please do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you find the videos helpful and useful, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again next time. But bye for now.